I spent 10 years of my life being the guy who always knew the club owners, the bartenders, the villa party hosts, and all these type of things, which cost me my 20s. Not in a cliche way, but in a real, always broke, sleeping at 4 a.m., and hating myself kind of way. If you have built your identity around being the cool guy in your group, then this video is for you. Being the cool guy isn't the problem. The problem is building your whole identity around it, because now you can't stop without losing yourself. Now, being the cool guy doesn't mean it's only about partying and all these things. It might mean different things to different people. But in my case, I knew all the party hosts. I knew where the next big celebration was. I always had to feed this monster, especially on every weekend. And the only way I could be able to feed it was through providing these things to other people too, not only for myself. Eventually, I became to a point where I needed to be at the heart of the action. And of course, this was just in my perception because it was all wrong. I'm not saying it's right. But at the time, I wanted to be in the heart of the action, in the place where all these things were taking place. So I had to find a job which is kind of also connected to these things. At the time, I was working as a waiter, and one of the club owners told me if I wanted to join as a bartender, which eventually I did. So now imagine my life working as a waiter until 12 midnight, and then finishing my work, going to the other job as a bartender, finishing it like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then coming home to sleep only to wake up at 11 and repeat the same thing again. And I was living like this 5-6 days a week, not even staying for 5 minutes to think about what's going on with my life. I was constantly in this process of living life, you know? And on my day offs, obviously, I was doing the same thing while spending 10 times more money, because that's the only thing I knew. That's the fun I knew, that's the pleasure I knew. That's the type of happiness I knew back then. Until one day, I quit my job as a bartender because I got promoted at my day job, and I felt like my life wasn't moving forward, and something was to be done. I always had this strange idea about people that whatever they do or the results of their life or their success or their level of success was always related to their personality. Not the way they work, not the habits they had, always like a personality thing. Maybe it was an excuse my mind was creating to run away from responsibilities. Whenever I saw someone was fit, I always thought that, okay, maybe this guy likes to go to the gym. I never thought that you need to go to the gym and work hard 3 days or 4 days a week, have a proper diet or nutrition or whatever. I never thought about this. I always thought it was kind of a personality thing, which I didn't have it obviously with the lifestyle that I was running. And then when it comes to smoking, I never thought that it was a bad habit, or of course I knew it was bad for my health, but what I'm trying to say is I never thought that there's the possibility that I might quit smoking, or I need to do this, I need to do that. I never went into the details of how to quit smoking or whatever. Until one day, I just started like doing some 50 or 60 push-ups a day at home. Very simple push-ups. Maybe I wasn't even doing it right, but those push-ups planted a seed in my head. And after doing those push-ups constantly for 3 months on a daily basis, something changed. The belief that people are just born that way shattered in my mind. And the first question I asked myself was, if I was wrong about this, then what other things I might be wrong about? From then on, it was a constant improvement and change of habits, change of lifestyle, and so on. The reason why I'm sharing is because I want you to understand that there's always a different possibility other than the one you are accustomed to. If you are living a certain lifestyle and you are accustomed to it, even for 10 years, doesn't mean that's right for you. It just might mean that it's familiar, because our minds sometimes play tricks on us. Imagine you are in a dark room, and outside of that room, there's like a garden full of flowers and butterflies and rainbows and sunshine, the most beautiful things in the whole world. But if you don't know that garden exists outside, or you don't even know that there's a door that takes you to that place, how are you going to open that door? The only way you can find that door is by believing that there's always a different possibility, other than the possibilities you are accustomed to. Another quick thing I want to mention is that maybe some of you are in that garden which I was describing, and now you are full of regret, thinking about the days or even the years you wasted staying in that room. If that's the case, it is highly important for you to understand that there's a huge difference between losing time and the time needed to figure things out. I'm sure you've heard stories of people studying medicine for 10 years and then becoming a painter. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean they've wasted 10 years and then became a painter. It just means that it took them 10 years to figure out what they want in life, and now they are happy human beings. You need to understand that your authenticity is the only thing that will never cost you. Trying to fit in is what's bleeding you dry. And listen, one thing I want to mention here is that I'm not a perfect human being. I'm not a millionaire sitting here giving you advices on how to live your life. I'm just sharing my journey, and I'm still building myself. But I can assure you one thing, that I've spent the last 10-12 years trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And the first thing I had to figure out was myself. If you are stuck in an identity that doesn't serve you anymore, then this video was definitely for you. So give it a like, subscribe to the channel so that at least I can see that my content is resonating with some people. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.